Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to replicate this Søborg Chair, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Resolve, in Fusion. Like you see on the screen right now. All the blueprints and the pictures for this, including the shader, will be in the description below. So you have everything right there to follow along. With that said, we'll go ahead and get started. These are the two pictures. And then I have some blueprints here. We're going to mask the back here. And I found staying on the inside of the lines is a better fit. And then we'll mask this brace out here. Then the seat. And last but not least, the side. Okay, we'll go ahead and delete these and get started. In Edit Page, go to the Media Pool and right click. New Fusion Composition. You can name it if you'd like, but you don't have to. Go ahead and leave it on 5 seconds. I use a handicap controller. I have to operate it with my mouth. It's a sip and puff controller, so you may hear a little bit of noise now and then. There's nothing I can do about it. I try to keep it as quiet as possible. Okay, we'll head down to Fusion now. I made this to shorten the tutorial up a little bit. These are my settings I had used last time, but you might want to take note of these. We may or may not refer back to them. Okay, click away right about here. Shift spacebar and S polygon. And shift spacebar again. Then extrude. Now we'll go ahead and set up our 3D scene. Up here in the toolbar, we'll select Merge, Camera, and a Render. Select the Merge, we'll get a directional light. Shift spacebar again and type in directional. And we want an ambient light. Go ahead and bring that media out right over and connect it. Put in viewer 2. Now you guys are probably wondering why I'm not using an SVG file. I've tried it. I could do it quicker this way. Things line up much better normally. With that SVG file, everything's way off the pivot points and everything for the animation. You have to try to line everything up. You spend more time doing that than you do anything. The lights and camera are way down to the left. So I found it easier, something like this, to just mask it out. Let's go ahead and name these so we can keep track of everything. I'm going to name mine Front V, so don't clash with the other stuff we name. I will be cutting the scene while I'm doing most of my masking. Everybody knows how to do that, so once I get started, I'll cut and I'll come back to it. So with the S polygon node selected, Once you close the loop, if you don't already know, come up here to Modify Only tool. That way you won't make any more points on your line accidentally. Then if you hold Control down on the keyboard, you can manage these handles much easier. Only one will move at a time. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. Masking out the back. If you look close, you'll see I kind of held on the inside of it like that. It seems to be proportioned better. Now we'll mask this out with this braze. A quick way right about here. Shift spacebar and S polygon. And then shift spacebar. Extrude. So we'll select the S polygon node. Let's name this one first so we don't get confused. I like to name the polygon rather than extrude, but you can do either one. We won't name the brace yet because there's going to be two of them, and I'm not sure which one's going to be which. So we move them, separate them. Once again, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. And when you're done, in case you don't already know, you can lock your polyline so it can't get screwed up at all. Let's do that with this one too. And when it's locked, it'll turn gray. Let's set the settings on this extrude here. Up in the inspector, you'll see you have all the controls that you do with a normal 3D text. Okay, right here we want an excursion depth of 0.01 on the seat and back. The bender we'll get to in a little bit. And the bevel seems to work out good for me at 0.0063. Take the excursions, subdivisions all the way up to the right. And the smoothing angle all the way up to the right. And the bevels, again, we'll set them at 0.0063. And then go to custom. Take the subdivisions all the way up to the right. Come in right about the second line. If you're not familiar with this graph, the one edge is this side, and either the back or bottom, or top or bottom, however you want to look at it, will be the other side. Like something like that. Take both these handles all the way out. And if you screw it up like that, right click and reset. Highlight both the top ones and hit F as in Frank on the keyboard. That will give us a nice bevel on both sides. Okay, now this one we'll go ahead and set it now so we don't forget. This is the brace, but it's got the same settings as the legs. I want screws in depth of 0.02 on this one. Same thing with the subdivisions and the smoothing angle. And a bevel in depth, 0.0063. Then go to custom. Subdivisions all the way up. It's hard to see that with that highlighter on the pointer. There, now when we copy and paste or paste the instance, they'll be the same. Okay, now we'll mask out the seat. So at the top view, we'll rename it. I'm going to call it Seat V. You can name it whatever you like. I'll put that up in the viewer. Select that polygon. Oh, do not select that polygon, I'm sorry. Click away right here. Shift spacebar and S polygon. And we'll name this seat right off the bat here. Now we're going to copy. So right click, copy, click away, right click and paste. Okay, we'll select that node and we'll mask it out. Again, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. We'll go ahead and lock this one. Go ahead and merge them together. It'll create a merge. Get them out of the way. Put that merge in viewer 1. Up here at the top, there's a little lighting switch. You could change it. You can see the 3D much better. Click away right about here. Shift spacebar and S polygon again. I want to copy this node because I have all our settings in it. Now we'll do the side. I found doing the sides, if you follow this inner line, it's more accurate, or the legs will be way too thick at the bottom. You'll see when I get done masking it. I know the two lines represent a bevel, but it just does not look right if you go to the outside of it. I try to hold it the inside all the way around. So we'll select that node. Again, I'll be back in a few. Okay, I'm back again. Try to follow what I did here for the best results, probably. And I'll lock that one. We should not have to go back to that, so we don't need to name it. So select both those. Right click. Copy. Click away. And paste instance this time. Let's bring all of them up to this merge here. Put that in viewer. Some of our values may be in different categories between the X, Y, and Z. For whatever reason, sometimes this comes out straight, other times it don't, but I think we'll be okay this time. Being we started with the front, it should work out. So select the extrude node for the legs. Go to the inspector under transform. And under rotation, y-axis, rotate that to 90. Okay, now that we have our stuff in there, let's set the camera and the lighting. So select the camera node. You'll see in viewer 1 we now have a camera. In the inspector under transform, select use target. Under translation, z-axis, we'll move the camera back. You'll see it move back in viewer 1. In viewer 2, you'll start to see the chair. And we'll probably have to reset this anyway, so we can leave it like that for now. Go to ambient light. It can be anywhere in the scene. We just want to move it up and out of the way. So select it. Go to transform. Just move it up and over. Now the directional light, which is still right here in the middle of the scene. Select it. Go to transform. Select use target. You'll see I navigate around the 3D screen different than you guys do. That's because I do not have a middle mouse wheel. So if you wonder why I keep using this menu and the shift key and stuff to move around, that's why. Okay, let's take the merge 3D 1 into the viewer 1. Now we have everything there. Ambient light up here. In case you don't already know, you can grab these little handles and move them around as well. I actually find them very intuitive and probably easier than using the controls. So you go back to the inspector under the Z-axis, translation, move the camera or the light back right about to where the camera is. We'll probably have to reposition this for the shadows later. So just get it up something like that for now. Now let's go back to this merge. So we have everything out of the way. We're going to de-instance some stuff here. In case you don't already know, what an instance is an exact copy of whatever node you took it off from. And you'll see a little green line connecting the two. And when you select that instance node, anything highlighted in green means if you move that value, it will change on both nodes. So we're going to go to transform. We're going to de-instance this X axis. So right click on it. Go down here to de-instance. And the same thing with the rotation X value. Right click. And de-instance. Name that one spec so I can keep everything in order here. I want to go, one will be minus 0.16, the other one will be basically plus 0.16. So select the extrude node, not the instance. And put in 0.16. Now go to the instance node and type in minus 0.16. Now we're going to angle the legs, so we'll go down to the rotation X value. On the instance node, we're already there, so we'll put that at 8. That's 8.0. Now we'll go to the back to the other node, and we'll put in minus 8. Okay, now we should be able to look at that, and our legs should be angled correctly. Okay, let's go to the seat. Okay, we'll make a little room. And select the extrude node for the seat. In the inspector and the transform. Just want to make sure I'm rotating this correctly. Take it up somewhere close to minus 90. We're going to do some fine tuning with it anyways, so just get it close for now. Under translation, y-axis, you can move it up. Now with that selected, we're going to put a bender node in here. So shift spacebar and bender. I like to make sure they're connected. Under axis, X value. On the amount, take it up to 0.16. Zoom in so we can get it placed correctly. Make sure that node's selected still. Bring that down to where it just touches it. Make sure it's not protruding to the top. Now I want to move it forward a little bit. And the inspector under translation, Z-axis. We'll leave mine like that for now until we get the back on. Now select the extrude node for the back. And the inspector under transform. That's the only way I can move up and down or left or right is to select that node, then it will target that node. I can't slide side to side. Let's put another bender node in. Make sure that extrude node is selected. Shift spacebar and bender. If all is correct, the axis should be at X. Put the amount to 90. I'm sorry, the angle to 90. Okay, go back to the extrude node. Under rotation, X value should make it angle correctly. And under translation, Z value should make it move forward and backward. If you don't already know, if you hold down the Alt key, you can move things much slower, more fine-tuned. Okay, I can see it better here. Now I want to move it down with translation, Y-axis. It's between those two, get it set in position. We'll make it protrude through the front so we can tell what we're doing here. Something like that should be good. I gotta rotate the top of mine back a little bit. Well, that's what we're going to be looking at. Now we'll do the brace. So select that extrude node. If you're not sure which one it is, just put it in the left viewer, viewer 1. Select both those. Right click, copy, click away, and paste instance. And connect that to the merge. So select the instance node first. In the inspector under transform, we're going to de-instance some things. Under translation, z-axis. Right click on the Z and de-instance. Now we're going to move these, we're going to separate both these. Right now there's one inside the other because we made an instance out of it. So we know that was the front, so let's go name that one. And call mine front base, and the other one will be back brace. Okay, select the extrude node, not the instance. The inspector, under transform. Z-axis, we'll move that back. We also have to de-instance the X-axis in the rotation. So right click on it and de-instance. This is going to rotate that a little bit so it matches the legs. Something like that. You can see it protruding through. Now select the other one, the back brace. Something like that. I ended up with minus 0.192. And we'll select the front one again, get that lined up. Mine ended up at 0.173. Now we'll scale it down. Now these will both move at the same time because we did not de-instance the scale. want them both to move at the same time. Make sure it's not protruding out. I'm going to do a quick adjustment on the masking. I think this is a little bit thick here. We'll unlock it, select the Modify Only tool. We'll select both endpoints. Hold on to Control. I think that looks better. I'll lock it. Now I'll add the shaders to it. We have to go right on down the line. So select the top extrude node. Shift spacebar. And replace material. That's the one we want. Replace material 3D. Like I said, go all the way on down the line and put that in. I don't want to downsize my nodes on you so you can't see them. Okay, there's two ways of adding the shaders to it. I like to use a loader node. That way, if you save this project, it'll carry it with the project. If you just use a picture out of the media pool, it will do the same. It'll put it on there, but you'll lose it when you save it as a preset or save it as a save project. I'll show both ways. On the first one only. Now if you look up in Viewer, you'll see we have a wood shader on the back. I prefer to do it this way. Click away. Shift spacebar and type in loader. Loader LD. And here's my shader. Now, when you use them like this, you don't want to put numbers in. You just want to give it a name. I found every once in a while, if you put a number in there, it doesn't stay with it. It'll just screw up on you. Not every time, but once in a while. And there we go. Now, if you save everything, it'll go right with it. Now we can just copy that and carry it right on down to everyone. And now our chair is all wood. We may have to readjust my seat. But before we do that, we'll go ahead and get it animated so we can rotate it. We want to put a transform between the merge 3D 2 and 3D 1. If we put it downstream where all the lights and cameras connected to, it will not work. You want it between all your composition and your lighting stuff. So select that node, shift spacebar, and transform 3D. This is the one we want. Now in the inspector, under rotation, y-axis, we can rotate our chair. Media out, hide in there. Select the render node. Go into render type. Change it from software to hardware render. Or OpenGL, if that's what you have. This will let the computer decide how much GPU and CPU you need for best performance. Enable lighting and shadows. Now you'll see it looks much better. We'll go ahead and animate it. Make sure your playhead is at frame 0. Let's set the y-axis on rotation to 40. Minus 40, that is, I'm sorry. Set a keyframe. Go to frame 75, which is halfway through my composition. I'm on 30 frames per second frame rate. I will try to put that at the beginning for you. Set that to 140. Take your playhead all the way to the end. And it should be 320. Okay, now make sure your transform 3D is selected. Open your spline. If it's covered up like mine, little window up there, click that. Select these over here on the left, transform. Over here, go to zoom to fit. Down here, select all. Hit F on the keyboard. And then T is in Tom. You'll see this little ease in and ease out popped up. We want them both the same, so lock it. And run them up about 55. And come over here to set relative. This way we can extend it on the timeline however long we would like. Let's go to the camera node and get a better angle on this. And the translation, Y and Z axis. And if you want to lower it down, go to transform node, Y value under translation. I'll go up to the edit page. Okay, it seems to be rotating correctly. Let it render out, give it a play. I'm going to move my light a little bit to the left so it can cast more shadow on the back. You can see the shadow changing as I move it. Okay, we'll let it render out and give it a play. Okay, well, we built the chair. If you want to go farther with me, we'll continue on. We'll put a floor and a Resolve logo on the wall in the back, like you've seen at the beginning. If you just wanted to make the chair, we've done that. Go back down to Fusion. Now we don't want the floor to rotate with the chair, so move your transform down toward Merge 3D 1. Go up to the toolbar and grab a Shape 3D. Select this merge. We'll add another one there. And pipe that into it. Now you'll see we have like a wall right in the middle of our chair. We're going to leave it on plane in the inspector. Under transform. We want to rotate the rotation x-axis to -90. And actually I have these backwards, I think. Yes, we have to switch these around. Sorry about that. Connect my node there. Okay, back to the shape node. Let's name that floor. If you're not seeing your scale, just click on this little window. Take that all the way up. Then go up here to translation, y-axis, and we'll move that floor down. Gonna go to one viewer so we can see the legs, so we can set it right down on the floor. And you can move the floor toward us with the z-axis in translation. Something like that. Okay, well, let's change the color of that floor. Select the node, go in the inspector on the materials. I'm going to make mine like a charcoal gray. This is just a transparent picture of Resolve logo. Now we'll put a drop shadow on it. If you don't already know, if you select this little star right here, it'll put it down in your favorites. Now the distance will make it a little bit closer to the wall. Because obviously things don't hang a foot from the wall. And we'll take the blur down a little bit and sharpen the edges. And we can also add a drop shadow to the chair. If you want something like that. Okay, well there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.